Good afternoon, Madam, Mr. Chairman. We are all set and ready to go.
Thank you very much. Good evening. This is Ben Winograd, and I'll call this meeting, Finance Committee meeting to order. We have with us members Deb Poland and Mark Zdanowicz. We also have counselors Tiffany McGinnis, Carol Blanks, and Mayor Sherry Kenter. And we also have, let's see, Lisa Newton from Finance, Rick Edwith, and of course, Corporation Counsel. So it looks like we are all set. I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Mark. And Mr. Ledwith, if you'd like to move on to tell us about business item B.
Yeah, so thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good evening, everyone. So our first order of business is a resolution appropriating unexpended capital and non-recurring expenditures from this past fiscal year 24, and rolling them over to fiscal year 25. A little over a year ago, the council appropriated $117,000 for the purchase of a utility vehicle for the police department, and then $146,000 for public works equipment. And delivery for both purchases has been delayed into fiscal year 25, and this resolution will carry over $87,260 for the public works purchase, and then $42,256 for the police vehicle. So I will pause there, and through you, Mr. Chairman, happy to answer any questions, but essentially this will allow us to finalize both of those purchases in this upcoming fiscal year. So it's part fiscal year 24, and now part of it will be in fiscal year 25.
Thank you. Any questions from members of the committee? I don't see anybody else have any questions. I do not see any. I don't believe this is a voting item, so I think you will move that on to council. I don't believe we have any communications that I know of.
We do not.
So we'll move on to staff reports and Finance Department.
Thank you again, Mr. Chairman. And we do have an update on our fiscal year 24 operating results. The last time we presented the operating results back in April, we had about a $7.6 million surplus. And that number has increased to $7.9 million. And through you, Mr. Chairman, I will pause there and turn it over to our acting finance director, Lisa Newton, who can provide us with a quick summary on the fiscal year 24 results to date. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. So revenue is anticipated to be greater than the adopted budget by $10,035,000. The majority of that I can go through quickly. Property taxes are over the favorable variance of about $4.4 million. In addition, intergovernmental revenue is $1.8 million. Of that is municipal revenue sharing that was not budgeted. Typically, we don't know that number until September or October of following the budget year, when the state lets us know what they're giving to each municipality. For charges and services, what's generating most of that revenue overage is building permits. We received a building permit of about $600,000 attributable to 950 Troutbrook housing development, and that's the old Children's Museum area. So that generated most of that surplus there. In addition, fire plan review fees generated an overage of about $600,000. There are other variances, but those are the larger ones. And then in miscellaneous revenue, what's generating most of that revenue is 3.4 million extra interest income revenue from the just higher interest rates. Does anyone have any questions on the revenue side? No? Okay. So on the expenditure side, it's very similar to what we had in March and April. The larger variances, let's see, if we go to town clerk, it's just merits that, actually, they don't even have a variance. Let's see, the larger ones. If we go to financial services, what's generating the overage there are 3 retirement buyouts and vacation buyouts that are allowable in the new contracts that were settled for both clerical and professional management contracts. Assessments has a favorable variance, and that was due to 6 months savings of a property appraiser that was not hired until January. Let's see, fire services, same thing. Their overtime was just high due to minimum manning. They are almost fully staffed. They're only down 1 person, so the majority of that is minimum staffing requirements. Police, again, it's overtime and then 3 retirements. They are down 8 positions right now. They're down a dispatcher, an animal control officer, a lieutenant, and 5 officers. So that's generating most of their overtime. Community development has a favorable variance. One of their positions this year was funded by ARPA, Civil Engineer 3, and then there was a hiring lag of a couple of their positions. Public Works, basically flat. Facility services, their part-time salary is up due to retro wages on their part-time salary, and contractual services is up due to filling in for their plumber that we haven't filled in a few years under contractual services. Leisure and social services, you see they're over in their personal services, but that is generally offset right now by their program revenue, which is definitely up. Library services pretty flat, and in non-departmental, you'll see that is over slightly. That's due to contract settlements that were higher percentages than we had budgeted for, but that's also offset by a savings in our private school services. Transportation is lower than we had anticipated, in addition to the nurses, what we've budgeted for the nurses, private school nurses. So if anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you very much. I'll start with members of the committee. I don't see any indications there are questions. Any other members of the council have any questions? I do not see any hands or icons or other ways to tell if somebody has a question. So thank you very much. Really appreciate all the work on this. And nice to have a surplus.
Thank you.
Alternative, so thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I guess we'll move on to the next agenda item. Future agenda items, if we have any. I did, well, I will add one, and we just talked about it prior to starting. There have been new statutory language on the car tax and some extra options. So next session, we can talk about that and do a review of what the new legislation was and whether that has any impact on us. But unless anybody else has any other suggestions, we'll move on to the executive session that we have on our agenda. I'll move that we do go into executive session pursuant to section 1(2)(6)(b) of the general statutes to discuss a pending tax appeal, specifically the 109 South Main Street West versus Town of West Hartford. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Thank you. Members of the committee, all in favor? Say
Aye.
Aye. So we will move into executive session. For anybody watching, we will be coming back for action on this anticipated. And then we do have another meeting with that one. Not sure whether we'll do that before or after adjournment, but that'll be the only action we take will be on the tax appeal. So with that, let's all move. We have the links to move into executive session. We'll invite in, I guess, a corporation counsel and Mr. Ledwith. Anybody else coming into the executive session?
I believe Mr. Dakers will be there as well, right, Gina?
Dakers will be there.
Yes,
as well. Okay,
that's
and we'll
correct.
also invite him in. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you on the other side.
Hi, Mary. The link should be on the email the last email I sent you today for executive session.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I'm getting there. Hold on. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Jeez.
All right. Waiting for Mark. Oh, you're confusing.
I'm here.
Okay. Oh, there you are. Okay. All right. We are back, and we are considering a motion on the tax appeal. Deb, do you have it in front of you, or you want to? Hold on.
I do not have that in front of me, Mr. Chair. Let's see.
That's okay. Neither do I. I was looking for it.
Hang on 1 second. We can. Okay. All right. I can make the motion if you'd like.
All right.
I
sure.
move to ratify the settlement of the pending tax appeal, 109 South Main Street West versus Town of West Hartford. As to the 2021 grand list, the fair market value of the land and buildings located at 109 South Main Street is $3,345,000. So we
Second.
need a second. Yeah.
Mark seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes. With that, we have finished our agenda for Finance Committee, and we'll adjourn the meeting. And thank you all for observing. And we'll switch over now to the non-meeting collective bargaining matters. Thank you very much.